Welcome back to Teachable Moments with April podcast. I am your host, April. Inspire, host, create, explore endless new possibilities, next level broadcasting. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. Alright, so our next topic that I forgot to talk about the last time, we ended up talking about some other things, is some things that me and Miss Murray have been seeing on the news. Is that there's this, and this is amazing to me, that there are children that are being school-age children, like first grade and younger. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I looked at Miss Mary, and there's a heavy police presence, and they're being arrested and booked. And there one little girl, they handcuffed her. And I know because of them having small wrists, they put zip ties on them too, because they're little wrists. I mean, when did this happen? I don't have kids. I haven't worked in a school setting in a while, but when did they decide that would be a good idea to arrest the kids? Kids be doing stuff, you do all kind of little devilish stuff. But when did the people decide to call 911 and have them, and they're actually arresting them, taking them out to the squad car? This one little girl said, please, please, please give me a second chance. She was crying. They put her in the back. They put her in the back of the squad car. This wasn't a scare tactic. When did they start arresting children? I thought what is going on? And then I started to look a little bit deeper, and they were saying that the majority of these children are disabled, and they're African American. They make up the largest percentage of this is black children and disabled. And they showed a young man. They didn't obviously show any of the kids' face because they're kids. So maybe that's the reason why you shouldn't be arresting them. Okay, wait a minute, what's going on around here? And he didn't appear by the other part of his body to be African American. I didn't know, but they did show his mom's face. I think he was Caucasian and he was autistic, but he was very small. I don't know if he was like third grade, second grade. I'm not really sure. The officer put a pillow and then had his face pressed, which that is very not good. And I could hear him, and had his hands behind his back. I don't think he was verbal, but then he started to have I got scared, labored breathing, and he started to gurgle. And I was like, and he had his face in this pillow, and I kept talking to the TV like they could hear me through the TV. And I said, he has respiratory issues. He's probably been crying, and he's struggling to breathe. And he didn't have his weight necessarily on the young man, but I just got really scared that something horrible was going to happen because he was really labored breathing. It was gurgling, and I was like, oh my God. I actually started to get really emotional, started to cry. And then they must have called his mother, and his mother, she just seemed like she was in shock. She had both her hands up to her mouth, and she's walking slow, like, what am I seeing? And then she started to kind of say certain things I don't remember. And then very slowly the officer took the zip ties off the young man. He didn't put him in the back of a squad car. and lift him up. He had to help him up and then remove the pillow that his face was pressing. So I'm thinking, okay, you're going to get smothered to death in reverse. It's not like someone's on top of you pressing a pillow. This time you got him, I guess, so his face wouldn't be smashed into the floor, but now you got this big pillow and he's fighting to breathe. I don't know how. You know, okay. And usually, but not always, people who are autistic, they're tactile defensive, and they're not really big on physical contact. But that little man, he jumped up in his mom's arms and he would not let go. And I thought, and he didn't say anything necessarily. I don't think he was verbal, but the fear and the anxiety. But I thought it was a joke because I didn't know. I said, they're what? Arresting children? When did this happen? Miss Mary, what do you know about this?
I don't know very much about it. I'm still in shock. You covered just about everything I was thinking. And I mean, I was just blown away. I was like speechless. I'm still speechless. I don't know. I don't have any grandchildren or anything to go in the school system. Praise be to God. Because I probably been had a heart attack by now.
They'd be arrested.
Three after raising my 3. And I'm glad they wasn't arresting them when my 3 was going, because I'd probably be at the jailhouse every day trying to get them out.
Get being booked and fingerprinted.
And psychological problems for the rest of their life. A record that's going to follow them, because the police was telling one little girl, this is going to be part of your record.
So now little kids got records.
And
wow, oh my God.
And I'm thinking to myself, where are they going in life if they got
already had a record and they're like, that little girl that I'm talking about, I don't know if it's the same one, is 6 years old. So if you start getting a record at 6 years old, you got a record at 6 years old?
I never thought of not being able to handle children. I raised children.
Yes.
I didn't have one to hit me, to curse me out, or anything else, because I'm going to set your behind on fire and you go into your room, okay?
Right.
You can't be out all the time of night. You can't have your friends over when you want to. You're going to need permission for this because you're a child.
Right.
When did adults, policemen, and so forth, grown up, attack children?
That this was, I must have been sleeping at the wheel with this one, because when I started seeing it recently, I was like, looking like, is this real? Is this real?
We're supposed to be looking out for the children. If they have some kind of issues, we are supposed to try hard to work them out. You're dealing with a child that you want to grow up with a healthy attitude toward life. Right. Now, after you get kicked in life a lot, you might change it, but at least let them have a decent childhood. But you got them handcuffed, slamming them against the floor, throwing them in police cars.
That poor little girl, oh my God.
I mean,
I don't know if this was an attempt at cultivating some form of fear. And that's a very tricky thing there.
That's not good.
Fear or respect.
No, it ain't gonna work. For
authority or recognition. Recognizing authority. But it's like a double-edged sword, and it's very delicate. That was my reasoning as I was trying to sort out what I was seeing. Is this what this is? Is that they feel that, and to an extent, I see where they're going. If that was what they were trying to do, they feel like they're not being recognized as authority in that way. Law. I don't know. I don't know when it happened. It just seemed like I was watching something like, what the heck is going on here? But then this fear that you're cultivating I guess we want to break it down in, if this is such a thing, healthy fear?
No, it's not healthy.
Okay, so stay with me, Miss Mary. So we're just going to put that to the side. We got healthy fear, meaning, like let's use the example of the creator. Okay.